Mr. Mills, welcome.
Hello. Hi, mate. How are you going?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Mate, how can a music theatre performer create a successful self-tape?
With great difficulty. No, I'm joking. It's not. It's not. It's actually not that hard. I put one down last week for my Moulin Rouge audition,
Yeah.
and had been workshopping with a mate via FaceTime like this. So if you are in isolation, I know it's hard to do your lines, to learn all your lines. There's always that app, Line Learner. I think you've probably got that one. Been using that for years, but it's always good to get, I think, another person's perspective or get their ears and eyes on what you're doing, so you can start just riffing on it.
Yeah.
And because you can't obviously be in direct contact, this is the best. This is the closest thing that you'll get. So I was workshopping with a mate, and then I was like, how am I going to do the self-test? All right, I'll set up my phone. So got a little tripod, phone goes in there.
Yeah.
And I actually, because I've got a mic stand, I just clamped this tripod to the mic stand.
Yeah, perfect.
And so that was recording me on a blank wall. A blank wall is pretty imperative. If you've got a blue screen, get one. I think pretty sure you can download. You can get one online. I've just used a wall. I took a few frames off the wall, and there was a door there. But I think they understand at the moment that that's all you've got. But what I did do is I had my mate Dan on the laptop watching me in the self-tape. So his voice was coming through the speaker of the laptop, and he was being the reader.
Yeah.
So,
yep.
And when I watched it, and when we watch it back, it just sounds like he's in the room.
Perfect.
Because always, you don't need the reader to be prominent on the microphone.
No.
You need them to be, they have to give you the energy. I think that's probably the best solution at this stage. Yeah, most people have got a laptop, most people have got a mobile, and I would film it on your phone and use your friend to watch you as the reader, and then to do the reading from the laptop.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? What are your thoughts?
Well, I think it's great. I mean, some people I've spoken to are like, I feel disconnected and I don't have that ability to be able to, show myself off. And other people are like, no, I love it. Like I'm there. I can prepare everything that I would do before going into the room, and I can choose my angles. I can have myself there for it. So I definitely love self-taping. It kind of sparked ideas when I sort of was starting to create this, the fact that, how much are you giving on camera compared to how much you'd give in the audition room? And so that is, like people are like, don't barrel the camera, don't put your eye line straight into the barrel and be like singing to the camera and be like, hey, I'm having a good time. It's like, you'd never do that in a room.
No, I'd never do that.
Well, funny enough, for years, I've always looked at the panel when I'm performing myself.
Have you?
Always. And it was like till the end of 2018, someone was like, you shouldn't do that. I was like,
But you're always getting work. So you're like, well, it works. So.
Well, yeah. But then other people I've spoken to like, don't look at the panel. I'm like, why am I only learning this now? So
I'd only look at it if it's a moment where I know that I can break the fourth wall.
Yeah, I guess it wasn't like, present, like looking at people, but it was more like this is my audience. Like I'm performing to my crew.
My people.
Don't do that. Don't do that in this situation.
You don't need to look to the dress, but it should probably just be above their heads is where I usually go for.
Yeah. Because then people are like, but what if they're not looking at you? And then you start doing that whole psychological thing. Oh my God, they're not looking at me. Now they're doing this. And there's that song with that girl's like, why isn't he looking in the last 5 years? Yeah.
I did that at Twisted Broadway a few years ago as the reverse character.
Yeah. So good.
Bloody great. It is a great song. He's a great writer, Jason Robert Brown.
So with your scene work, do you approach the same intentions and the same energy that you would for, say, like, if it was an acting self-tape, would you do the same intentions and same energy for a musical?
Oh, yeah, mate, 100%. I mean, acting for me it's all storytelling, whether you're singing the song or whether you're doing the scene. It's just storytelling. You're telling your truth. You've got to find the truth in the song. You've got to find the truth in what that means to the character in the scenes. Whether it's a musical theatre audition or a straight acting, that's what I think. That's how I've always approached it. I always find that weird that musical theatre people, maybe there was a stigma, or maybe it's self-perpetuated by our industry that we're not taken as seriously when we go into a straight acting audition. But all I think is like, why? We just have an extra skill on top. Like, not only can we do the acting, we can do the singing, and some of us can do the dancing as well. I can't. We get by.
Yeah.
But so I always approach it as, what's my character trying to say? And whether it's a self-tape or in the room, the same. The best thing I think about a self-tape, and this goes for everything that I do, whether it's acting or the singing, watching it back. And I think it goes with dancing as well. When you watch it back, you're like, oh, I've got a weird angle there. Or when I was doing that choreo, or when you watch it back, and it was my partner who's actually in television. She's a journalist. She was saying at a very early stage when she started reporting, it was watching it back straight away and going, oh, I sound weird there. Or that was a weird, maybe I looked a bit strange, or the same goes with all your acting stuff. Watch it back as much as possible, and then you'll notice your own little idiosyncrasies and your little habits.
Yeah.
So even in the last audition I did last week, I was doing a few things, even with my jaw. I had really bad jaw tension when I was singing the song, and I went, oh, I'm doing bad jaw tension that my singing teacher tells me all the time.
Yeah.
So then I just relaxed, sang the next version, and then went, okay, well, that was almost right, but not quite. I was maybe trying to sell it too much. I just need to be a bit more comfortable. So you actually have so much more freedom into, no one knows your performance better than yourself, I think. Yeah. Like no one critiques themselves harder than you. Yeah, you might think it's the trolls on Twitter. No. It's you. Trust me. So watch it back and go, and be really critical. Be really critical with it, and shoot it again until you get it right.
Yeah.
Or until you're satisfied. Really. Sometimes you can overdo it.
Yeah.
I think we've all been there. Like, no, I really want to get that moment. Like, I've done it 30 times. Like, I think they're going to get the gist of it. And then
I was having a chat to one of the casting directors, and they were like, we can tell when it's your 40th time. Like, correct. We know. So that energy that you have in the audition room when you're like, I'm excited, I'm nervous, like, that's exciting. That's exciting to watch because you are under pressure, and and people want to see that. They want to see how you work under pressure.
Yep. No, agreed. So maybe 30 is probably too many, but if you don't get it in the 10th take, give it a rest. Come back the next day.
Yeah. Yeah.
And watch it back, or even better, watch it back with a mate. Like the scene work I did with my mate Dan the other day was fantastic. Like, he came at it from a different angle, or like would give me some suggestions. Some of them I would be like, bang on, or like, maybe it's this. And he goes, oh, maybe it is that. And we just got to play with the scene until it really felt comfortable with the character that I thought I was portraying.
Yeah, great.
Yeah. So this kind of chat, this sort of FaceTime with your mate, read the scene, get up on the floor, do it, like, really do it. Give yourself the space. We put the camera back so your mate can see you actually acting it out. I think that really helps as well.
So were you filming in a mid shot or a tighter shot, or how did you sort of set it up?
I reckon my phone, it was probably about there. It's usually about mid.
Yeah. Like a decent mid, and you can see your arms if you wanted to use your arms. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's great. And I guess being in isolation now and not knowing, I think, it's not going to be forever. But if it was to the point where, hey guys, we're auditioning for the next 6 months because you're all in ISO, can we audition everyone until day one of rehearsal and not have anyone be in the room? Do you think it's possible for people to do that?
I think it's a lot easier to audition for stuff overseas now. Yeah. I think that was already becoming the norm. You don't have to be a working actor in sorry, an out of work actor in LA to try and get a job in LA. You could be a working actor in Australia and still audition for stuff over there, and vice versa.
Yeah.
I think it's becoming more of the norm. I think it's made me realize how much time and effort goes in from a producer's point of view, how many hours they put into finding that person, really finding them. Flights across the country, hotels, the expense would be quite enormous, I think, even just before you've even, plus you've already paid for the rights for the show. I feel for the producer, there's a lot of money that goes into it. This would be this would be a lot cheaper. And I'm sure that this will be the norm for the first couple of rounds, or maybe the first round at least. You can get a sense of someone's energy, I think, from camera, but not the same as walking into the room. I think I feel a lot more comfortable, and I don't know, I like to use I'm going to say charm. When you walk into the room, there's that energy that you can give off, and you've got the same kind of, that loving, grateful energy, like fun, happy to be here, easy to work with kind of guy.
Yeah. I'm here to play. Like, what are we doing? Come on, show me what you've got. And it's a great point, because everyone's saying that. So how do we introduce that to self-taping? How do we is it about the first slate and you're just talking to them? Hey guys, how you doing? Rob here.
I always put an ID in. Do you put an ID in at the top?
I use a template from iMovie, and I sort of just introduce myself that way. Sometimes I do it if they've requested it, but
I put an ID. I would put an ID in every time.
Yeah.
If you think that's going to be part of it, like what's 3 seconds extra at the start of the clip? They're not going to go, ugh, next. They're going to go, oh, that's them. Yeah. It's better to go, hey, I'm Rob. I'm 6 foot tall and pretty excited about this. I know. Do you say that?
No, but 100%.
Like that's what I would say, because that's my personality type. But other people will be like, hey, I'm Chris, and yeah, I'm 6 foot. So whatever your personality type is, if they can see that in the space of a 2 second grab, why not? Why not try something that's going to showcase you? You don't need to peacock the whole thing and just wear feathers in the ID.
Yeah. It's like, oh, okay, good choice.
I didn't sing a top C in the song that you've given me, but here it is. Like, maybe don't do that.
Yeah, I can't hit it in the song, but I can do it now. Oh, mate, I think you've given us a lot of tips, and I guess going back that yes, we can create a successful self-tape. It doesn't have to be a stigma that we're music theatre, we don't belong in this medium. I think we definitely belong in it, and it is about showing your personality. So, like, definitely doing a slate, great, fantastic idea. Working with somebody else, if you're by yourself, definitely what you said. Like, let's go and speak to other people, rehearse. Just like you would. Yeah. And
like you would in a show.
Yeah. Watching it back is a great idea, because I think people go, all right, was that the take? Yeah, that was the take. Okay. All right. Now they're just so busy, and that's what's coming across. Not like, cool, maybe you've only got 24, 48 hours to produce it, but you've still got 24 hours to just whack your phone up, give it a record and say, Mills, what do you think of is this working, or no, maybe different interpretation?
Yeah, let's workshop it. Workshop it for an hour, like half an hour with a mate. It's amazing what you'll find just from workshopping it with a friend. And if it's not someone that you think, it's up to you to really challenge yourself, and also challenge your acting partner that you're working with. Like, we live in this space in actors where it's all interpretation. There is no wrong answers, but we're always scared, I think, to have that conflict, even with our acting partner, like to say, oh, I don't think you should do it like that. Just say it. Like, and then, but back it up with why. So it's not, then it's not a personal attack on the other person's acting. It's just, maybe their intention was not what you thought you were going to get, or just have it out. Like, just say, all right, for the next half an hour, I'm just going to call a spade a spade. It's nothing to do with you. It's just to do with what I think my character needs and what I think that character is. And that's the best way to do it. just be completely open, honest. You'll have a much better scene partner. You'll get a much better result from it as well. That's what I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I reckon so far people have either been so against it but have come around or tried to figure out ideas. So once we're putting this all together, and by the end, I think we're going to show people that we can definitely have a successful self-tape.
100%. And this is bloody great, guys. It's a clip that holds your phone only that way and that way. It can move around, and this thing grabs onto anything. You can put it on a bookshelf. You can stick it grab it onto a pole. Sometimes, I would highly recommend one of these. It's a Joby tripod thing with an extra Manfrotto clip. I'll make sure you get the link somehow. The swipe up.
Not a sponsored.
Not sponsored, man. I went and bought this crap before we got locked down. I'm like, I'm only going to be able to do self tapes now.
Yeah. Thanks, mate.
No worries, buddy. Chat to you soon.